Sure.
Yeah, see? White Heat. Have you seen the film White Heat?
I haven't, but I've heard good stuff about
It's
it.
a good film.
Yeah,
It's
Jimmy
got this-
Cagney.
It's a short little hothead. He's a hothead. He's super pissed off all the time, and he loves his mother.
Yeah,
He loves his
mother. Really loves his mother.
We got to break out of prison so I can meet up with my mom.
Yeah. Mash, eh? 1930s.
Top of the world, Ma. I finally made it. I finally made it to the top of this petroleum plant.
And then blow myself up.
It was always my dream to die in a giant explosion, and I finally did it.
Good job, Ma.
You really raised a good boy. So okay, I'll say this, and that is that I like the Kaiserreich accoutrement. I like the history.
I like that little French, you know.
Yeah, I used to not like French because it was very confusing to me. I didn't know what any of the words meant, and they were impossible to pronounce. But some of them are pretty good, and that's one of them. But I really like all the flavor to Kaiserreich. The wiki page is really great. It's a great resource to learn about some stuff. But still,
They have a Wikipedia page for it?
they don't have a Wikipedia page. They also don't have a Memory Alpha page. That's the Star Trek one. I was looking up pictures of Con Air for an episode that I was editing the other day, and there's a Con Air wiki. Like, there's a wiki for everything. What are you doing?
They just love Nicolas Cage's hair, I guess, in that movie.
We don't need a wiki for absolutely everything. But they're
Con Air, oh my God, that movie's 20 years old.
Yeah, they're not making anything else. There's not like a Con Air comic book coming out.
Con Air alternate history.
Do you think they'd make a Con Air 2? Nicolas Cage is still alive.
Well, yeah, he needs money, so.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi's still alive at this moment.
John Malkovich, well, that wouldn't really matter,
Right.
given the ending of the movie. John Cusack.
Well, John Malkovich's brother
That's
gets
right.
sent to prison.
Cyrus the Virus Grissom.
And then Nicolas Cage's brother is also sent to prison. And they just happen to be put on the same airplane.
And then they trade faces.
And then they trade faces. And then they blow up the plane, but they're both sent to prison and then frozen for 100 years.
And then they're in magnet booth.
And then they have to put on the magnet boots, yes. And then they have to escape from the ghosts of Mars as well. They have to do that.
I didn't like that movie.
That movie's bad.
Very bad.
It's not even like funny bad. It's just a bad film. Don't bother.
Don't bother. If you can go with John Carpenter, you got to go with The Thing.
You got to go with The Thing or Halloween. Or my personal favorite, Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China.
What a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I know. Pork Chop Express.
It's great. I love the music. The end theme is really good. It's done by John Carpenter and his band.
Really?
Yeah, that's the Big Trouble in Little China. That song that they do, that's him. That's him doing that. I really love that film. It is amazing. I saw that movie when I was in the Cayman Islands. I remember we were like in a hotel, and the hotel had HBO, and I'd never watched HBO before, and that was just one of the random movies that were on, and it just blew my mind as a little kid. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And then The Thing came on right after it.
Real American hero right there.
And it's good old Jack Burton. Yeah.
I mean, he did stop. What was his name?
Lopan.
Lopan.
He stopped
Lopan.
Lopan.
Stop Lopan.
I love his the thing he says at the beginning of the movie. He says, "Look, if your girl tells you you're driving too fast, always tell her this. I never drive faster than I can see. All right, lady?" That's pretty good. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, he was really hamming it up there, but Kurt Russell doing a good job.
Yeah, I love Kurt Russell.
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
He was good in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah. Did you know that Walt Disney's final words before dying were Kurt Russell?
Yes, I did.
And nobody knows why.
It probably. I wonder if that ever freaks him out. Like he's just laying down on the couch and he's just like, "Oh my God, Walt Disney's last words were my name."
And his last words will be Walt Disney.
Rosebud.
Haley Joel Osment.
Which, talking about Walt Disney, that makes me think of pirates. And making me think of pirates makes me think of the movie The Island.
Okay.
A clip of which I showed to you not too long ago.
Yes.
With Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
It's probably not the best Michael Caine impression, but it's serviceable.
That's an amazing video that you showed me.
Yes, that movie, that end scene.
Yeah, Michael Caine's on a boat, and there's a bunch of like inbred, insane pirates who have taken his family hostage, and he gets on a gun. What gun? What kind of gun?
A 50 cal, an M2.
Yeah.
Ma Deuce.
It just shoots them all. It's great.
And the longest burst I think ever been fired out of an M2 before, because I think the barrel should have melted.
Yeah.
But pretty ridiculous.
One of the guys that gets shot, has like a cup of juice in his hand, and he just like pours it in his face as he's falling down. Like, oh.
That movie. I've actually seen the whole movie. It's bad. The only thing worth watching is that scene. It's on YouTube, so you know.
Yeah. Speaking of on YouTube, there's a great video where Michael Caine gives acting tips for an hour and a half. It's really, really good. And in the background, there's a minor character from Frasier. Is one of the
Which Frasier? Which character? Sorry, not which Frasier.
Which Frasier? Oh God! Now you've got me scared. There's more than one Frasier.
Frasier.
I can't remember exactly, but he was like kind of a snooty guy. Actually,
that's a lot of them.
that's Derek Jacobi was on Frasier too.
He was, yeah. He's that guy.
I die, Horatio.
That's pretty funny. Derek Jacobi was also in
Gladiator.
That's it.
right.
I was thinking Star Wars for some reason, but not.
I was also watching Gladiator because of a previous episode we had done, and that's
a fine film. Joaquin Phoenix has got the creep meter at about 37.
yeah. He's kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of bad emperors. He's got a little Caligula, a little Commodus, a little
Nero,
Nero, yeah,
little, just everything.
A little Caracalla, a little bit of Caracalla in there.
Yeah, all thrown in. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
No.
Who was Marcus Aurelius in that movie? Was that Donald Sutherland?
Richard Harris.
It was Richard Harris.
That also known as Dumbledore in the first Harry Potter movies before he magically changed appearance.
Before he became a homosexual man. but yeah, the original Dumbledore, yeah. Some people say he's the best Dumbledore, which I think is a little silly. Not because I like the second one better as an actor, but because the first Dumbledore doesn't do anything.
He just goes, Harry Potter.
Oh, yes, Slytherin, yes. However, and then all of the Slytherin kids' lives just change for, their hearts drop out of their chests as he gives it to Gryffindor because of a bunch of BS. You know what I'm talking about in the first movie? Slytherin wins with points. They win pretty handily, but because Harry and them did the chess thing and the Cerberus, this Philosopher's Stone nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, nope, you guys win, actually. Screw you, Malfoy.
Maybe that's why they acted like they did the later
Yeah.
time. Really, this is all Dumbledore's fault to make the guy without the nose angry.
I think that's the reason why he killed him. Oh no, Snape killed him. Never mind.
Alan Rickman. Hans Booby.
Hans Booby.
He will always be Hans Gruber to me.
Hans.
But no one ever remembers Jeremy Irons as Simon Gruber.
That's true.
Simon Says.
Simon.
It's like figuring out. It took me a while to figure out that thing with the water in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Right.
How to get the.
It's like something from a video game. It's like a Resident Evil puzzle or something.
Yeah.
Simon Says, also a movie with Dennis Rodman. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't. I've heard of it.
Yep.
Dennis.
Maybe you don't need to see it. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I kind of want to see it now that you bring it up. Now that it exists.
Maybe next Saturday we might do that. Might do a talk.
Dennis Rodman, he should be in the next Space Jam.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That would be a great movie.
Maybe. As long as they get Wayne Knight back.
That's right, Wayne Knight. Movie. That's right. Where's Wayne Knight when you need him?
Wayne Knight giving the eyes to Granny, Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I distinctly remember that part of the film.
Yikes.
Lola Bunny.
Really, that movie, someone once said if you cut out all the cartoon stuff, really that movie's about Wayne Knight scared he's going to lose his job.
Bill Murray as well.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I liked that movie, obviously. You know what else? So talking about basketball films, oh my God, Max, how can we not talk about it? Shazam. Sorry, excuse me. Kazaam,
yes.
Kazaam. It has an ending scene that, if you think about it rationally, is horrifying. Mm-hmm. And the ending scene involves the bad guy and Dr. Shaquille O'Neal, everyone. Remember, Dr. O'Neal.
That's right. He did get a degree.
He does have a doctorate from Barry University. Dr. O'Neal takes the bad guy and crushes him into a human-shaped basketball, dribbles him on the ground, and the guy, the face on the basketball is still talking, and then he dunks him, killing him, into a trash chute. This is a children's movie, and I can only imagine what it would be like to later have a detective come by, like, oh my god, what sort of monster are we dealing with here? Oh.
We can't get any fingerprints off of him. We can't get any dental records either.
Yeah, that.
I remember you showed that scene to me, and I think I almost died laughing. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, it's in a children's movie. This is a children's movie. This isn't like some, like, kind of playing it. It's like some Rick and Morty thing, playing it for laughs to adults. Yeah. This is a movie for children.
Yeah.
And in it, Shaquille O'Neal brutally kills at least him. He also he throws a man into an electrical transformer as well, and severely beats some other people too. Yeah. So, I mean,
well, kids, they were.
This is why violence is rising in our society right now. Exactly. It's because the children are watching Kazaam and they think it's okay.
The kids are
to crush people into the shape of basketballs and then dunk them into trash chutes.
But Shazam, see, when you said Shazam, I thought you were referring to the fictional, non-existent Sinbad movie called Shazam.
No,
have you heard about this?
No.
People insist that there was a movie called Shazam.
Oh, I haven't.
Sinbad.
I do know that every Veterans Day we honor Sinbad. He is a veteran of the United States Air Force.
That's right. Also,
Ice-T, U.S. Army veteran.
Yep, and pimp as well. Former pimp.
Oh, yeah.
Please, plays Detective Tutuola on Law and Order SVU. Tutuola is Swahili for the gentle one.
Ah,
it's a fine television show.
Yes, but Good Burger. Mm-hmm. If you watch Good Burger. Really, when I watched it, I thought the movie was more a critique of the America's treatment of people who are mentally disabled. Because clearly, the character played by Kel from Kenan and Kel appears to be mentally disabled in that movie at various times.
Poor Kel.
So really, it's more commentary on America's treatment of those issues than anything else, in my opinion.
Also, in the film Mystery Men, Kel is also... Well, you think he's mentally ill, but it turns out he actually can turn invisible.
Yeah.
As opposed to what everyone thought. So,
yeah.
So there you go.
Mystery Men. Jeffrey Rush is the bad guy in that.
He is. Casanova Frankenstein.
Yeah, not great.
I saw it recently, and I was surprised by how good it was. Janine Garofalo notwithstanding.
William H. Macy. Upholding that Fargo pride.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed that film. Also, the Smash Mouth song All Star was made for that movie.
Was it?
Yeah, the music video for that song has Mystery Men stuff in it.
Huh.
Yeah. People think it's from Shrek. It's not. It's from Mystery Men.
We're correcting this mistake, everyone.
They actually play All Star twice in the movie. They play it during one scene and they play it at the very end as well. During the recruitment scene where Dane Cook shows up. It's playing during that.
Dane Cook is in that?
Dane Cook is in that movie, yeah. At the height of his popularity.
Yeah. Whatever height that was.
People forget he was very popular, just like Limp Bizkit was very popular. Limp Bizkit was very, very popular at a time in American history that everyone would like to forget.
Limp Bizkit. Do you know at one point in Austin, Texas, they had a online contest where people vote online, which is never a good idea.
Yeah, it's always a bad idea.
For the new name of their sanitation department. The number one chosen name, if I remember the story correctly, was the Fred Durst Society for the Arts and Humanities.
That's pretty
It's sort of like when they did that thing with what to name that new boat for like the British science exploration or whatever, and they called it Bodie McBoatface.
Bodie McBoatface.
But they did name the submarine Bodie McBoatface.
That's pretty good. Wait, is like a Royal
There's
Navy?
a submarine attached, like a little research submarine attached to the vessel.
Okay.
And that's called Bodie McBoatface.
You can do that. That's fine. But if you have to say, like, where's your son stationed? This ship
HMS, the HMS Bodie McBoatface.
The HMS Bodie McBoatface went down with no survivors. It's like, no, you don't want to say that. You want to say the HMS Venomous or something like that.
The British have great names.
The British are amazing
for
at
naming
things.
We just name them after cities or states or famous
Newport
people.
News.
Yeah. No, they name them. The U.S., the HMS Venom. Yeah, the HMS Glorious.
Indomitable.
Indomitable. Victorious. Hood.
That's pretty good. Curzon. Victory.
Achilles.
The most...
Ramillies.
Ramillies?
Yeah, the HMS Ramillies.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a battleship.
Their tanks are great. Comet.
Centurion.
Firefly.
Gotta love a Sherman Firefly.
Really great. No machine gun, though.
No. Well, no, they had no
bow machine gun?
No bow machine gun. They did have a coaxial next to it because they needed the space for the 17-pounder shells where the bow gunner would have sat.
I get the idea of wanting to have like an upgraded gun, but like the machine gun's like the most important part of a tank because you have to keep the guys with the grenades and stuff from getting close to you.
Yes.
I mean, World of Tanks makes you think that all you have to it's just tanks shooting tanks, but that's not what it was.
Mm-hmm. Nah, man.
That's not how I was there. Okay.
Yeah, you were.
I was at Kursk. I know what I'm talking about.
No,
that's why I'm celebrating my 97th birthday this week.
You just sound very young for your age, Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sherman Firefly.
The
Crusader. They had a Crusader tank.
Cromwell. Name your tank after Cromwell. That's great.
They named Grants. They named their Lee version of the M3 Lee the Grant.
That's some great cheeky banter right there. Mm-hmm. Very good.
That's right. Yeah. It was slightly different, but not completely.
It's both of them terrible.
Mm-hmm. The Chieftain.
Chieftain's great. Centurion.
Challenger. Yeah.
Did we say Crusader already?
Yeah. Conqueror.
Why do they all start with C? Is it a weight class? Is that the
idea?
I don't
know. Well, certainly not. A Challenger is not in the same weight class as a Cromwell.
That's very true, yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Are all of them? Not all of them are C's. Are they?
From World War II on, I'm pretty sure they all are.
I mean, the Firefly isn't, but a Firefly is an American tank.
Yeah, Firefly is American.
Is there a British tank that doesn't start with a C? That's originally a British.
The World War Ones.
Oh,
the
right.
The Whippet.
The Whippet. The Mark IV or whatever.
The Little Willie.
Which is one of the top 5 greatest tanks of all time, by the way, according to Lindybeige, that guy that I showed you once.
Yeah.
The Universal Carrier.
That's not a tank.
The S tank. One of the best tanks ever.
One of the best museums to ever go to if you like tanks, the Tank Museum.
Yep, that's where he was at.
It's in Dorset in the UK. Fantastic. You like tanks, go there. Amazing place.
You've been there.
I have been there. It's awesome.
You went in a couple tanks.
Yeah, I went inside a Chieftain and I went inside a Mark IV, a World War I Mark IV.
And you said that it was really small.
Yeah, it's cramped as hell. I mean, I'm tall, but it's cramped.
Right. Well, people were smaller back then, and even then.
No, smaller. even if you were 5 feet tall, that plate it would have been cramped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable. But the Chieftain's cool. Even a modern tank is packed to the gills with stuff. So
yeah.
I mean, well, Chieftain was from the '60s, but still, I thought it was Shefton for a long time. It's actually Chieftain.
Yeah, they can be a little funny about pronouncing things.
Lieutenant.
Lester.
Lieutenant. That's how they say lieutenant.
No. But I'm like the city.
Leicester. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leicester.
Worcester.
Yeah. Don't even get started on the Welsh stuff.
Oh God.
Carnarvon. That's one of them.
I remember one of our listeners.
I like good old Cornwall. That's my favorite.
Cornwall. Cornwallis is an American big fan of Cornwallis.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
You know what I mean.
Hey, buddy. Whoa. One of our listeners sent us an email about a alternate history wiki page about if Wales was an independent country, and it was really interesting.
Yeah.
I really want to thank that reader for sending that to us. That was a really cool thing.
Very extensive, yeah.
Yeah. Good old
Akihito going to resign 2019.
Yeah. What was the date? April something?
April the 30th, I think.
April the 30th. That's going to be nuts.
I can't believe it. Akihito.
I mean,
the good ones always go so young.
Yeah, I mean,
except the fact that he's like 85.
In the prime of his youth. I really like the TV station NHK. I really, really like NHK. NHK is Japanese public television. It's publicly funded, so there's no ads. Mm-hmm. And they have NHK Newsline, which is like this 15-minute to 30-minute just quick rundown of the news, and it's a really good way to like get a perspective on like Asian, like East Asian, Southeast Asian news that you don't see anywhere else. And it's very relaxing too. NHK, all the shows on NHK are just so weird. It's like, do you ever watch the original Japanese Iron Chef?
Yes, I did. I loved it.
It's like that. It's like that in that, like, the weird, awkward dubbing.
Yeah.
That doesn't flow very well.
But the food looked delicious.
The food, yeah. There's tons of, like, little documentaries about Japanese towns and stuff. It's very low tempo, very relaxing. I can't recommend NHK highly enough. It's great.
Interesting.
They have this great show called Somewhere Street, where this is so wonderful. There's like this camera POV walks around these streets in random cities and random countries around the world, and just this narrator is just very calmly saying, "Oh, let's walk in here. Wow. Let's talk to this man sweeping by the side of the road," and like they interview him and stuff. And it's just so awkward. It's so strange. Everything about it. I love Somewhere Street. It's very, very good.
It's really interesting.
I would like to go to Japan one day.
Been there. Good country.
You've been there?
Yes, I've been to Tokyo. I didn't tell you that. I've been to the Imperial Palace there. I've been to the Yasukuni Shrine. I've been all over Tokyo.
Is the Yasukuni Shrine the War Dead Shrine?
Yeah, you can't go into the shrine part, but I went into the museum attached to it, which is like revisionist history on like steroids. It's crazy. They made us attack Pearl Harbor. We didn't want to do it, but we had to. I don't know, remember. It's been a long time, but I remember thinking at the time, I'm like, this doesn't seem like the history I remember.
I remember in high school, our world history teacher, we had a Japanese student who was a boarding student at our school, and he was in one of the classes she was teaching. He was in one of the classes she was teaching, and they were talking about World War II, and he like stood up and like very fervently talked about how, well, Japan was justified doing this because they were being blockaded and stuff. So the teacher was telling us about this, and she said, and he made a lot of really good arguments, and he actually got me kind of agreeing with him. And I was like, what kind of history teacher are you? What are you talking about? Oh, my goodness. Come on. Are you for real?
Well, I think in Michael Bay's movie Pearl Harbor, he'd take some exception to that.
Exactly. I think Doolittle would take some exception to that. Buddy.
Jimmy Doolittle.
Jimmy Doolittle. Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. Doolittle.
Eddie Murphy.
Dr. Doolittle 2.
Dr. Doolittle 2.
The Nutty Professor 2. Meet the Clumps.
Meet the Clumps.
Big Mama's House 2.
Oh, my God. But that's Martin Lawrence.
I know.
Though.
Not the same.
Not the same.
But another sequel.
It's another sequel. That's true. Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2.
It's very true.
Joanna Man.
Joanna Man.
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Now we're talking. Doesn't that movie have DJ Qualls in it?
Joanna Man?
No, I was talking about Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, Monsters Unleashed.
Wait, who's in Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed? Somebody's in that film, I know.
Seth Green?
Seth Green is the one I know. That's correct. That is correct. Did you know one of Seth Green's first acting roles was being in a Sega CD Make My Video game? I think it's the Marky Mark one.
Is he? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we talked about that at one point. Yeah. Marky Mark. What a guy.
Make My Video.
Everyone forgets about Donnie, though.
Donnie Wahlberg of Band of Brothers
Band
fame?
of Brothers. Coward Lipton. Also from New Kids on the Block.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. But Band of Brothers is where it's at, really.
Jimmy Fallon was in Band of Brothers, too.
He sure was. He was like, hey, you guys want some ammo? Oh, and that's all he did.
I was like, what?
What are you doing here?
Tom Hardy's in Band of Brothers.
Tom Hardy's in Band of Brothers. The guy who
Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy.
Yep, the guy who played the new Professor X, James McAvoy.
Yeah, James McAvoy. Yeah. The guy that is very briefly a German general in it, who's played by the guy who's one of the Nazis whose face gets melted in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Is that right? Is he the one with the round glasses?
No, he's not the glasses. He's the one who goes, Bleh! He looks like he shrivels up like a prune.
Oh, he becomes
because there was like
skeleton.
He's the guy who shrivels up like the prune. Then there's like face melty guy, and then there's the guy in the center who's like, ah, and then his head blows up.
Classic.
What was his name? Not the character.
Von Rundstedt, I think. I think that's how he died, right?
No, not Von Rundstedt. No, the name of the bad guy. Baluk. That was his name.
How do you spell that?
Bellooq, I think.
What?
Baluk. Rene Baluk.
Weird.
You're not so different. Dr. Jones, you and I are not so different. And until that part where he goes, and then his head blows up.
Dr. Shaquille O'Neal, you and I are not so, different.
Doctor. Hey, we shouldn't knock him for it. Does Allen Iverson have a PhD?
That's true.
No. He's not Dr. Iverson. He's Mr. Iverson.
You know who else has a PhD? Frasier Crane.
I think he has an MD.
Oh, really?
He's a psychiatrist.
Oh, I just outed myself. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a psychiatrist can prescribe medication.
Okay.
A psychologist cannot.
So
psychologist is a PhD. Psychiatrist is an MD.
Interesting. So wait a second. Niles is
He's also a psychiatrist.
I thought
both MDs.
Okay, one of them is a youngest, and the other one is a Freud guy, right? Or was that just a joke?
No, he says in an episode, Niles is covering for Frasier, and he said, my brother Frasier is a Freudian, while I am a Jungian, so there will be no blaming mother today.
That's a pretty
Which
good
is
episode.
A really hilarious joke, if you know what that is.
That episode also has a joke where there's a basketball player that he's helping, and he's having this reoccurring dream. He's describing it to him, and he says, okay, first off, I'm dribbling. And then Niles is like, that's okay. You can wipe your mouth or whatever. It's like such a dumb joke.
Niles. Oh, Niles. What a guy. Frasier Crane, what a guy. They should do a reboot of that.
Reboot Frasier. Yeah, do it on Netflix. They rebooted Full House, so why not? Yeah, of all things, reboot something actually good for a change. How about that?
Yes, good. But would it be the Frasier that we know and love?
Would it be the Frasier? Yeah, I think it could be. I really like Kelsey Grammer in everything he said. X-Men.
X-Men 3.
X-Men 3.
Last Stand. Very briefly in Future Day Past or whatever the hell it's called. Future Day
Past. The guy, the new Beast is terrible. I don't like the new Beast at all.
He's Nux in Mad Max Fury Road, which is an awesome movie, by the way.
That's Nux?
Yeah,
really?
That's Nux, yeah.
Wow. It's amazing.
I saw that movie on opening day, and I was blown away. I saw it with two other people, and one person was like, this is amazing. We're both like, this is amazing. The other person was like, I don't really like it that much. I was like, what are you talking about?
I've seen that movie many times.
Me too. It's
probably
great.
4 times, I think.
Yeah, me too. Probably about the same.
There's a certain type of movie, like the science fiction action movie that's really awesome. There's that. There's Fury Road. There's Dread. District 9.
What a great movie too. Dread, awesome. Underappreciated movie.
Yeah, it's really.
Carl
really
Urban
amazing.
spends that whole movie acting with his chin, and he does a great job.
Mama.
I can offer you life in an iso cube. I put you in the Juve cube.
Put you in the Juve cubes. Mama is not the law. I am the law.
Which is so funny because I like the original Judge Dredd, but not because it's a good movie, but because it's hilariously bad.
You know what? I knew you'd say that.
I knew you'd say that. Rob Schneider also in that film.
Yeah. Eat recycled food.
Block War. That's the guy who says Block War at the beginning. He is Raiden in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
You're kidding
James
me.
Remar, that's his name.
You're
that's
blowing my mind right now.
Block War. Let me. First degree murder. When he's like, first degree murder of a street judge. And he's like, let me guess what the punishment is. Life. And then he tries to shoot him, and then Sylvester Stallone shoots him, and he just goes, death. James Remar. Ajax and the Warriors.
Huh.
Dexter's dad and Dexter. Laboratory. Just kidding.
Dexter's Laboratory. Make another one of them. They brought back Samurai Jack.
They did.
They brought back Hey Arnold, for God's sakes.
Hey Arnold.
Make all the good cartoons again. That's the great thing about the good economy is that you can just do stuff like this.
The good economy. We demand we should march for more Ren and Stimpy.
There's more money.
Or Two Stupid Dogs.
Yeah, bring back
Johnny Bravo.
Bring back Secret Squirrel.
Secret Squirrel.
Another Secret Squirrel. They already brought it back from the 60s. Bring it back again from the 90s. Do it. It's a great idea.
Cat Dog.
Bring back Cat Dog. Let me think of something I actually want back, though. Cat Dog's okay.
Rugrats all grown up.
Rugrats middle age. Rugrats midlife crisis. They could really actually do that now that I think about it. Make a like a Netflix for adults Rugrat cartoon, like BoJack Horseman or whatever.
BoJack Horseman. Oh, jeez.
That show's a little too dark for me. Gotta tell
I've never
you.
seen it actually.
It's pretty dark. Darker than Rick and Morty.
Wow, that's pretty dark.
That's
I
pretty
do
dark.
love me some Rick and Morty too.
It's a pretty funny show.
Jerry Smith, it's my spirit animal right there.
Which one's Jerry Smith? Oh,
His
the
dad.
dad. The dad. Yeah, the dad's pretty
yes, Jerry Smith. Love Jerry Smith. That's the guy who does his voice.
good. It's Cyril Figgis.
Yeah, who's Cyril? Yeah,
on Archer. Cyril Figgis.
I'll remember it. He's also Dr. Spaceman on 30 Rock.
Dr. Spaceman. 30 Rock, such a great show.
Yeah, good stuff. Wow, we have really circled the wagons on this one.
Yeah. Well, it's because we love Kaiserreich so much. We just
put
want to
this
talk
whole
about
thing
it
in there
forever.
It's like 5 minutes of Kaiserreich.
Something I can't stand is when I'm listening to a podcast and somebody says, edit that out, and I'm hearing it. You didn't edit it out.
You done goofed.
I've complained about that before, and people are like, oh, it's a joke. It's supposed to be a joke. Nothing funny about being lazy. That's what I always say, all right? Mm-hmm. You know? No half measures.
No half measures. You know, at one point they were going to make another movie in the Gods in General series. It would be Last Full Measure, which is the story of the end of the war. But they didn't.
They didn't. They didn't want to make a 4-hour-long movie.
Well, no one really saw Gods and Generals.
Well, you know what they could do? Just get the guy who plays Stonewall Jackson back to be Robert E. Lee.
It's like,
what is going on?
You know the guy who plays.
What is going on? He's just this shapeshifter that keeps taking people's places. And nobody notices.
It's like
He's really the one who's pushing this war forward.
Well, you know, fun fact. The guy who plays Pickett in Gettysburg and Stonewall Jackson in Gods and Generals is Colonel Quaritch, the bad guy in Avatar.
AKA the best part of Avatar.
Yes, yeah. I was definitely rooting for the humans in Avatar. I was not rooting for the big aliens. Like, when they were making that attack run with that big ship at the end, I was like, I hope they win. I hope the humans win, because I'm not a big blue alien.
Yeah, you're not a big blue alien, and you're also not, you're not a Sam Worthington fan either. AKA the guy who was in Black Ops.
And today's the day we succeed.
What part of Alaska are you from, Mason? What the hell was that?
Yeah. What else is there? There's yeah.
He was
also I don't know why they're making I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 sequels to Avatar.
It's 4.
4 sequels, because really a realistic sequel to Avatar would be just the beginning, and you just see some human spaceships arrive, and then they would just start bombarding the planet from space with lasers or missiles or whatever you want it to be, and then that would be it.
I'm not optimistic about the Avatar sequels, but it would be really nice if we saw old James Cameron coming back.
Yeah.
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2, True Lies.
What's the best thing he ever
Aliens.
did? Aliens is the best thing he's ever done. It's so good. I love Aliens.
That's why you liked the History Channel so much.
Because
aliens.
Of aliens. Right. Now it all makes sense. We've hit all of our bases for this episode. We've mentioned the ancient aliens. We've mentioned the ME-262. We've mentioned dirigibles.
Steam engines. Should we talk about steam engines?
Steam engines.
We should talk about some steam engines.
It depends on what cut of this episode we'll be posting. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it the full 2 hours.
No, we probably shouldn't.
That would be very funny, though, if they see Kaiserreich 2 hours, 30 minutes.
And they're like, yes. And then
half of it's about Kazaam. What the?
Wild Wild West. We should probably talk about that for a second. Jim West is the best.
Jim West is the best.
Arliss, love less.
Arliss, love less. Ain't want none of this. I'm the slickest they is. I'm the slickest they is. Yeah. Wiki.
We're in the Millennium, so.
Yeah, year 18 of the Millennium period.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Prince of Bel-Air. Bright. Orc cops. Magic. Right. Scientology, Jaden Smith, Willow Smith,
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith, Fish
Who was
Mooney.
in The Matrix?
Jada Pinkett Smith?
Reloaded.
Was she the lady with the hair?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She was Morpheus.
She was Morpheus. She kind of looks like she's not a very attractive lady. I'm sorry, but
Well, neither is Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne's not. Look, Lawrence Fishburne's a very pretty woman. That's just an objective fact. That's just true. It's just true. I don't want it to be weird to say that, but it's just the way it is. Oh man.
Woo!
What a great thing.